Hello, part of video for chapter number 5 of history. The topic is the Khurda uprising, a case study. Much before the event of 1857, there had taken place another event of similar nature at place called Khurda in 1817. Here it would be instructive for us to study that event and reflect on how resentment against the colonial policies of the British had been building up since the beginning of 19th century in the different parts of the country. So one rebellion already we have discussed about the sepoys. So another rebellion, another protest against this British policies also took place in this region that was known as Khurda. Now Khurda, Khurda, a small kingdom built up in the late 16th century in south-eastern part of Odisha, was a populous and well-cultivated territory consisting of 105 ghars, 60 large and 1109 small villages at the beginning of 19th century. So in short you can say this was a vast kingdom. Then its king Raja Bira Kishore Dev had to earlier give up the possession of 4 parganas, the superintendent of the Jagannath temple and the administration of 14 garjats, that is princely states, to the Marathas under compulsion. About the Jagannatha temple also you have learnt in the 7th standard how it was being conquered. So compulsorily it was being taken by the Marathas. It was given to the Marathas. His son and the successor, that is the name of the son of Raja Bira Kishore Dev was Mukunda Dev. Second was greatly disturbed with his loss of fortune. He has lost this much of region under Marathas. Therefore, sensing an opportunity in the Anglo-Maratha conflict, he had entered into negotiation with the British to get back his lost territories and the rights over the Jagannatha temple. So he talked with the Britishers, and even it means they were supporting the Britishers while the Britishers were having the conflict with the Maratha. So what was the thing they were asking for? They want their rights back, which was being taken by the Marathas, their land bags, their properties, and even the right on the Jagannatha temple they want it back. So for that they can give the support to the Britishers. Who are going to support the Britishers? The Mukunda Deva II. Consequently, but after the occupation of Odisha in 1803, the British showed no inclination to oblige him on either score. Consequently, in the alliances with other feudatory chief of Odisha and secretary support of Marathas, he tried to assert his rights by force. This led to his deposition and annexation of his territories by the British. As a matter of consolation, he was only given the rights of management of Jagannatha temple, with a grant amounting to a mere 1/10 of revenue of his former estate, and his residence was fixed at Puri. This unfair settlement commenced an era of oppressive foreign rules in Odisha, which paved the way for a serious armed uprising 1817. So here though he has supported the Britishers, but British has not taken him as seriously, because the Britishers only need a support from the group to defeat the Marathas. When they got the support and when they won, what the Britishers has done with the ruler of the Khurda region, only the right was given to them. Right of what? The Jagannatha temple, and even their territories were annexed by the Britishers. So here They were not able to rule as they were ruling in the past. They were only getting the rights from the Britishers. Even they have to pay the revenue, 1/10 of revenue of what they were having, that has been given to the Britishers, and even their residence were also fixed, and where it was being fixed, that was fixed in Puri. So this was an unfair settlement. The Mukunda Deva became angry. He was not happy with what the Britishers had did with them or did with him, and he said that this oppressive foreign rule in Odisha was unfair. So he paved the way of serious armed uprising in 1817. So he protested with the arms against whom? Against Britishers. Soon after taking over Kudra, the British followed a policy of resuming services tenures. It bitterly affected the lives of ex-militia of the state, the Paiks. The severity of the measure was compounded on account of an unreasonable increase in the demand of revenue and also oppressive ways of its collection. Consequently, there was large-scale desertion of the people from Kudra between 1805 to 1817. Yet the British went for a series of short-term settlements, each time increasing the demands, not recognizing either the productivity capacity of the land or the paying capacity of the ryots. No leniency was shown even in case of natural calamities, which Odisha was frequently prone to. Rather, lands of defaulters were sold off to scheming revenue officials or spectacular from Bengal. So here what happened, as they conquered the region of Kudra, the British started following certain policies. They started implementing, and that too also in tenure. Tenures means a shorter period of time, that is a fixed period of time the policy has to be followed or the services could be given to them. Now it bitterly affected the lives of the people of that regions, mainly to the Paiks. Paiks are the slaves, the servants who are being purchased by the masters for working for the kingdom. So they were also, their lives were also seriously affected. They were constantly asking for the revenue for the unreasonable reasons, that their demand were keep on increasing, the revenue collection was keep on increasing. So this was the oppressive way of collection by the Britishers. Now what happened, even they were not looking the climatic conditions also, and what is the capacity of the land also, whether they are able to pay the revenue or not. The productivity of the land is that much that they can pay the revenue. That also was not being looked after by the Britishers. Britishers anyhow need their demand to be fulfilled. So even the Odisha was a calamity prone area. There frequently they are affected with the flood, because Odisha is located nearby the Bay of Bengal. So there is they are facing the heavy rain, and because of the heavy rain they are always facing the flood. So it is flood prone area. So because of the natural calamities, even they were not able to produce more on their land, and for that also they are not giving any kind of relief. Even if they are not able to pay the revenue, their land was being sold off to the scheming revenue official to get their revenue in a flow. The hereditary military commander of the deposed king, Jagabandhu Bidhyadhar Mahapatra, that is Brahma Marabhar Rai, or Boxi Jagabandhu as he was popularly known, was one among the disposed landholders. So he was being disposed from his own land by the Britishers. He had in effect become a beggar, and for nearly 2 years survived on voluntary contribution from the people of Khudra before deciding to fight for their grievance as well as his own. So after got deposed by the Britishers from his own land, he survived by the voluntary contribution from the people of the Khudra regions, and later on he decided to fight against the Britishers. Over the years, what had added to this grievance were the introductions of sikka, that is rupee, silver currency in the region. That was also added to their problems, to the people's problems of Khudra. Secondly, the insistence on payment of revenue in the new currency. So before that they have to pay the revenue as whatever they were producing. Now as they introduce a new currency, silver currency, they have to pay their revenue with the new currency that was being introduced. So that was also not possible by the people. An unprecedented rise in the price of foodstuff and salt, which had become far-fetched following the introduction of salt monopoly, because of which the traditional salt maker of Odisha were deprived of making salt. So here the next thing was the uprising price of foodstuffs and mainly salt. Salt is a common thing generally used. Even though for the salt they have raised the price, and the original traditional salt maker, they also stopped making the salt because they were not able to make it as the prices were getting high. The auction of local estates in Calcutta, which brought in absentee landlords from Bengal to Odisha, beside the incentive and corrupt policy system, also made the situation worse for the armed uprising to take a sinister shape. So the next thing was the auction of local estate in the Calcutta. The estate were kept in auction. The land owner has to purchase it from Bengal or to Odisha. So this is the way how they started exploiting. They were keep on changing the landholders who were capable to purchase the position, they were purchasing it. The uprising was set up on 29 March 1817 as the Paiks attacked the police station and other government establishment at Banpur, killing more than 100 men and took away a large amount of government money. So as the Sepoy has attacked in the Sepoy rebellion, we have read that they were attacking the police station, killing the British officers. The same way here the uprising set off on 29th March 1817, where Paiks, the slaves, has attacked the police station and other government establishment in which region? At Banpur, killing them, and 100 of men were killed and the government money was being looted. Soon its ripples spread in the different directions with Khudra becoming its epicenter. So Khudra was the main center from where the rebellion was started, and it got support from the different direction of the Khudra. The zamindar and the roads alike joined the Paiks with enthusiasm because they were also being exploited by the Britishers. Those who did not were taken to task. A no rent campaign was also started. The British tried to dislodge the Paiks from their entrenched position but failed. So here also Britishers tried that they could stop this rebellion, but they failed over here. April 1817, Boxi Jagabandhu, leading 5 to 10,000 Paiks and men of the Khand tribe, seized Puri and declared the hesitant king Mukunda Deva II as their ruler. So the priest of the Jagannatha temple also extended the Pegs their full support. So in 1817, Boxi Jagabandhu, with the leading 5 to 10 thousands of slaves that were known as Pegs, men, and also got the support from the tribe known as Kandit tribe. They all together seized the Puri and declared Mukunda Deva as their ruler. So priest also, with the support of the Pegs, they extended their position and also secured the position in Jagannatha temple. Seeing the situation going out of the hand, the British clamped martial law. The king was quickly captured and sent to prison in Cuttack with his son. The Boxi, with his close associate Krishna Chandra Brahmarabar Rai, tried to cut off all communication between Cuttack and Khudra as the uprising spread to southern and the northwestern parts of Odisha. Consequently, the British sent Major General Martindale to clear off the area from the clutches of the Pegs, while at the same time announcing reward for the arrest of Boxi Jagabandhu and his associates. In the ensuing operation, hundreds of Pegs were killed, many fled to deep jungles, and some returned home under a scheme of amnesty. Thus, by May 1817, the uprising was mostly contained. So here the Britishers answered the rebellion. Seeing the situation, they also passed a martial law. The king was quickly captured and he was sent into the jail of Cuttack with his son, and also announced the reward on the Boxi Jagan Bandhu and as well as associate. So as the Britishers has taken this step, and even they ordered one of the major general, and his name was Martindale, to clear off the area from the Pegs. So by clearing of the Pegs, number of Pegs were being killed. Trying to just get rid of from the Britishers to save themselves, they went into deep jungle, saving their lives, and even few of them returned to the home accepting the British offers. But by 1817, the uprising of the Pegs, the rebellion was being suppressed by the Britishers. Now, however, outside Khudra, it was sustained by Boxi Jaganbandhu with the help of supporters like the Raja of Khujung and the unflinching loyalty of the Peg until his surrender in May 1825. On the part of British, henceforth adopted a policy that was leniency, indulgence and forbearance towards the people of Khudra. The price of salt was reduced and necessary reforms were made in police and the justice system. Revenue officials found to be corrupt were dismissed from the service and former landholders were restored to their lands. The son of the king of Khudra, Ramachandra Deva III, was allowed to move to Puri and take charge of affairs of Jagannatha temple with a grant of rupees 24,000. So here, as the Khudra, it was sustained by the Boxi Jagabandhu with the help of supporter like the Raja of Khujung and unflinching loyalty of the Pegs. So here Britishers want the loyalty back as they want in the Sepoy rebellions also. The same offer were given to these people also, these rulers also. Here some kind of policies were adopted. What kind of policy? That was leniency, indulgence and forbearance. The salt price which was being increased, that was being reduced. Reforms were made in the police and as well as the justice system, so they could get the justice what they need actually. and revenue officials who were found corrupt, they were being dismissed, and landholders, the former landholders which were in past, they got their rights back, and even the son of the king Kudra, that was Ramachandra Deva III, was allowed to move to Puri, and even they got the charge of Jagannatha temple with the grant of rupees 24,000. So in sum, it was the first such popular anti-British armed uprising in Odisha of British administration in that part of the country to merely call it Pake Rebellion would thus be an understatement. So as we read in our chapter that the Sepoy rebellion was going on in the different region of India. Similarly, in the same time, on the other part of India, that was in Odisha, the new rebellion that was emerged and against the Britishers, that was known as the Pake Rebellion. Here you can see elsewhere, that is the different region we are going to talk about. For Heavenly Kingdom, Great Peace. While the revolt was spreading in India in 1857, a massive popular uprising was raging in the southern part of China also. So, two rebellion already going on in India was going on, and that was being suppressed by the Britishers later on. That was Pake Rebellion and the Sepoy Rebellion. In the meanwhile, in China also there was a massive uprising of rebellion. It had started in 1850 and could be suppressed only by the mid 1860s. So these you can say 1 decade they took to suppress the rebellion. Thousands of laboring poor people were led by Hong Xiang-guen to fight for the establishment of Heavenly Kingdom of Great Peace. This was known as the Taiping Rebellion. So here who has protested the same like the other protest was been happened, that was the laboring group, and as well as the poor people has rebelled against the ruler. Hong Xiang-guen was a convert to traditional religion practiced in China such as Confucianism and Buddhism. So he was asking the people to convert themselves as the Confucianism and Buddhism. The rebels of Taiping wanted to establish a kingdom where a form of Christianity was practiced, where no one held any private property, where there was no difference between the social class and between the men and women, where consumption of opium, tobacco, alcohol and activity like gambling, prostitution, slavery were prohibited. So they want a peaceful kingdom where they could live peacefully. The British and French armed forces operating in China helped the emperor of the Qing dynasty to put down the Taiping rebellion. So here the Chinese rulers were being helped by the British and French armed forces to put down the Taiping rebellion. So this was the out of India. We read about the China. The same rebellion was going on in the three different regions, 2 in the Indian region and 1 was in China. So here your chapter ends, the chapter 5. If you are having any query, please message me in my personal number. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you.